So when it comes to the Venusaur event, I'm going to show you basically everything you need to know, everything in terms of a guide, how to beat it, the rates and all of that good stuff for getting every single promo, because realistically that is what it is. It's a solo event, so there's not necessarily too much of an issue that you're going to have, and as you can see you'll have 4 different tiers. You'll have the beginner, intermediate, advanced and also the expert. Now, if you are looking for all of the promo cards, if you have a look down the bottom of your deck, you should see the Venusaur, the Greninja, the Haunter, the Onix, and the Jigglypuff if you have really grinded this kind of event out. And to be honest, it was the same with the Lapras event. You just had to basically keep doing it. Now, there has been published kind of leaks, or at least a percentage of what you get per go, basically. So the Venusaur's coming in at 12.6. That's going to be the percentage of what you get in the promo. The Greninja is at a 15.82. The Haunter is at a 23.84, and that is going to be the same for the Onix and also then for the Jigglypuff. So you've just got the 5 different promo cards to get. If you have a look at your deck when you add a new card in, you'll see 2 spaces next to it. That is for the Wonder Pick event. I believe that's Bulbasaur and somebody else that does escape me, so don't worry about them, that is not a problem. We also, if you've got the premium pass, you will get Mewtwo as a login event kind of purchase, so that's absolutely fine. When it comes to actually defeating each of the events, a lot of people, or at least I've seen some, you don't want to make this mistake of just going and beating the beginner, because basically with this, you have got the chance of getting a pack. Like it says if you go into the beginner, it does say there is a possible chance reward. So that is going to be something that in the beginning stage, that has now been leaked at 51% that you do get one. The intermediate's going to be 64% and the advanced is going to be 80%. Now, the biggest thing that you want to be doing and not wasting any chance once you get up there is the expert will 100% give you a chance reward. So the promo pack will be in absolutely every win in expert, so make sure that you are doing that, because obviously that's going to be the biggest factor to this, is that you want to get the promo pack. Realistically, that is the whole point. The actual battle task you can obviously go and complete if you've got all of the promo cards. It gives you some nice little wonder picks and all of that good stuff on every single one. As you can see, I've still got a couple that I could do in the advance, but to be honest, it's not necessarily anything that is going to be crazy. The whole point is going to actually beating the actual deck itself. So the cards that you want to use and decks in general. Now, the one deck that I do have that you might not have, you could have by now, is going to be the Arcanine and Moltres deck. This is pretty much a standard deck when coming into it. Obviously, it's Moltres in first if you can. Doesn't kind of matter if you get Growlithe in first, because you can either switch with using X speed, or you can just really just tank it in through Arcanine. It really doesn't matter, but I have seen a fair few other kind of fire types being used, because realistically when you look at the deck for the Venusaur, they have got on the expert side of stuff Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur ×2 on every single one. You've got Patil and Lilligant, which is going to be ×2 as well. That one you want to try and get out first, because every attack that it does get off as the final form will give 50 hits, and then also it will give a energy to a bench Pokemon. So that is kind of how the expert does normally kind of level up their Venusaur pretty quickly. But then also you do have Kangaskhan in this, which does it potentially is like a game breaker. It is the normal type, but is weak to fire, which is always nice. But then it also does a Dizzy Punch on just 1 energy. This could hit up to 60 if they get 2 heads, which is just a little bit of a problem. So you want to get that out as quick as possible, and that is why you want to go in as much as you can with your fire deck. Now, obviously, if you are looking at using a Ninetales, if you are looking at a Rapidash, then that is going to be absolutely fine as well. You've got plenty of fires. You could go with the Charmander to Charizard route and use Moltres on that. Moltres is always a nice one just to get any of them really high level attacks up, because 1 or 2 moves and you're pretty much set. With obviously Arcanine, it does do 20 damage to itself, but it doesn't lose any of the energy cards. Whereas obviously with Charizard, he does discard 2 every time, but it does do 200, which is going to be enough to pretty much get anything out of its deck out in 1, which is always nice. You can pretty much go with a lot of the fire fire, like obviously if you went with Rapidash, you've got 1 energy you need, and it is only going to count as 1 point if you want. You've got Magmar as well, which you can link up with some trainer cards, and then really other than that, you've kind of got a few one-hitters, really more so than anything. It's kind of why Ninetales is alright. You discard an energy, but by 2, you get 90 every single time, which again is going to go up to 110 with a weakness as well, so it's always fantastic. When it comes to the trainer sort of cards, if we go all the way down to the bottom, you will find that obviously Blaine is going to be the fire one. During this attack, used by your Ninetales, Rapidash or Magmar, you do 30 extra damage, which is going to be fantastic for a Ninetales. If you've got the bonus of 90, then add another 30, meaning it goes to 120, then obviously add in the weakness to 150. That's a big hit. Only Venusaur that would be able to tank that out, and hopefully you are trying to get there before you actually get into the Venusaur, at least enough for the Venusaur to have 4 energies. We then also have the X speed, which is always nice to switch, especially if you are using a Moltres. Sabrina, if you want to switch out the Venusaur from your opponent, always good. Giovanni for the extra 10 damage, which again is going to be really good. Potions, always a nice one. Pokeball, and also Professor's Research for the draw 2 and also getting one of your base Pokemon in there. So it's a very simple event. It's not necessarily too crazy. There's plenty of options you can go with. The good thing is everything is weak to fire, so you are pretty set across that. Obviously Kangaskhan is to fighting, sorry. So obviously you want to just get that out with an Arcanine or something like a big hit. If obviously, like we said, you've got a Giovanni or a Blaine and then also Rapidash, that is enough to take it out in one as well. So you won't need anything other than fire for this deck. So make sure you are getting that loaded up. Very, very simple event, but you want to make sure you are getting all them cards done ASAP. Like I said, Expert is the one to go, and you should get them all pretty quickly. I think it took me about 8 different tries to be able to get every single one. Obviously Venusaur being the hardest one to get in terms of chance, but now I think I've managed to get 2 after doing about 15 different attacks. So let me know how you get on with it, and make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.